So we have the sacred spot, we have the sacred building, we have the sacred structure, we have the sacred sound. For what reason? I mean,
For what reason?
yeah,
That's
why
a very good
all
question.
these? I mean, I love the sacred part of it, but
Yes.
what are we supposed to do with it?
So we can tune in.
Yeah.
So we can tune in and remember that we are sacred beings as well. So that we can tune in, so that you can tune in.
Well, to remember that we're sacred beings, but also, I think, probably to bring the sacred through us.
To bring the sacred through us, to be a vehicle, to sound the sacred through this open channel. So my earlier work is opening the voice, opening the authentic voice. Why? Not just so I can sing or be interviewed, but because I can then resonate the sacred energy through the breath.
Right.
Out to the world,
And then
where
when
it's
we
needed.
bring in, and it's really beautiful the way you broke down, detailed the structure of this sacred action.
Yes.
And then there's like probably sacred movements and sacred interactions and it's all for the purpose of elevating our consciousness.
Elevating our consciousness.
So when we get in those places of sacredness that have been charged with that, our thoughts are probably different.
Our thoughts are different because then we have entrained with that space. Our thoughts are elevated. We can also commune with the ancestors. If we're talking Paleolithic times, we're in caves doing the same thing.
Because the doorways between the dimensions open.
Exactly.
And our brain, mind, consciousness is an interdimensional resonator of total consciousness. This is my theory. I don't know if science would say that. But I think you're right. When we get in that space, we can communicate with other realms.
We can communicate with other realms. And I believe that this was important for our survival as a species.
What do you mean? Yeah,
well,
explain
why
that.
else? Since the earliest of time, we have been building painted caves. From there, we built chamber graves, stone circles, temples. Why? Why? Because I believe that the sacred is intrinsic to who we are, and sometimes we forget that just as we forget our voices.
But wait, let's go there. Let's just stay with that for a little bit. The sacred is intrinsic. Now, how do you define the sacred when you say that? What do you mean by the sacred? I mean...
Well, if we look at all sacred architecture is related to sacred geometry.
Yes.
And we are also related. The proportions. We have the proportion of the golden mean
of the
in
harmonics
every part of our body. We have those harmonics in us.
Oh. So if the sacred, this harmonics, so we make these things to remind ourselves of our own divinity. And
to then commune, to have a relationship.
With this divine presence.
To have a relationship with this divine presence. And we need this relationship with this divine presence in order, I believe, to be fully alive.
That's good, Susan.
Thank you.
So we forgot, because in this world, this material world, we don't have any connection to what's sacred. Even if you go to a synagogue or a church, it's just a duty. It's just something you think you have to do. There's no connection to the sacred.
Yes.